I have striking, I have power, I have the size.
This is a classic case of around and find out.
All right, we have a very special guest today, a guy we've had on here before, moving his way up through the UFC, got a huge fight September 16th against a guy with the last name Reyes who calls himself the Executioner, but I guess we'll see about that. Our good friend Natan Levy. Natan, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
Well, dude, it's great to talk to you again. Obviously, you've had a lot going on in your life in the octagon, outside and inside the octagon, but I got to ask you first, before we get in this fight, out in Las Vegas, that again, as you continue your climb up the ranks, getting to where we know that you should be, you literally had a fight against and I want you to tell the story of kind of how it happened, how you guys linked up, but it went viral. You basically beat the hell out of a white nationalist while rocking the jiu-jitsu shirt, which is just fantastic. But can you tell our audience kind of what went down and how that all transpired?
Yeah, so, I think we've seen a huge rise in anti-Semitism in the recent years, and especially online, especially in Twitter and echo chambers. Some of the posts that some people allow themselves to make, the way they allow themselves to speak, and the comments are just honestly disturbing. So one of them was posting, I recently got exposed to this world, and I didn't even know myself how bad it is. But I've been exposed to it, and I've seen a guy talking about white superiority and how a male physique should look like as a white man. And I kind of mocked him. And one of his defenders, whose name is Ben, said, he offered it, that he will gladly come to my gym and spar and show me what's up. And it kind of backfired.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the clips. We have the clips playing literally right now as you're talking, but it's something, too, that it's just ridiculous. Number one, I mean, it's 2023. The fact that we're still having to deal with this. And you know what? At the end of the day, Natan, I'm glad you did what you had to do. It's just, you deal with stupidity and people like that. Sometimes it does take that and you standing up for what we all know is right. But this all started with the kind of the Nick Fuentes guy, right? Putting all this crazy anti-Semitic stuff out there. If you had a message for Nick Fuentes, what would your message be for him?
I can't go and beat every troll up. I got stuff to do with my time. I need to train. I get paid to fight real fighters, real professional. But I would definitely make an exception for Nick. Either we can talk it out, or we can do it the hard way, whatever you want. That's his call. But Nick, if you're watching me this, come see me, bro.
Well, it's like they say, David, talking's one thing, walking's another.
They do say that, don't they? Natan, we recently spent some time with Dana White, not only here in Nashville at Fight Night, but also out in Las Vegas at Power Slap. We had a great time. I mean, Dana White is the real deal. He comes with so much energy, so charismatic. What is it about him that makes him such a good leader of the UFC?
Yeah, I think, first of all, just him seeing what the future could be like for the UFC at a time, a company that was worth, $1 million and probably a lot more in debt. So just his charisma, his vision brought it to what it is today. I think it's valued in over $8 billion or something like that. It's the biggest platform if you want to be a fighter. Everybody wants to be in the UFC. Some people will even quit fighting if they can't make it to the UFC because that was their real goal. I don't know if I agree with that, but I think it is what it is. Like, UFC is the biggest name in fight sports, and rightfully so.
Yeah, in our interview with Dana White, that was one thing he was pointing out is he's a central figure, within the organization. Whereas boxing, you have all these different promoters and different things like that. And even with the NFL, you have 32 team owners and then a commissioner. There's always these different interests. But with the UFC, it's one guy calling the shots.
100%. Dan does a great job. Natan, it's crazy these days. You have a lot of people who get on their Twitter fingers, put over the laptop, act super tough, But it's amazing how real it hits when you actually get there. How was this Ben guy? I know he's talking a lot of ish over Twitter, but did he switch up a little bit when he actually saw you in the octagon? He started acting a little different?
Yeah, absolutely. on Twitter, it was, I'm gonna come and F you up.
Yeah.
And then in person, it was like, hey, nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, I bet it was like that. And hey, for all the people who think they can walk in off the street and fight a trained professional fighter, let them know how much work goes into what you do on a day in and day out basis to get you where you are now.
It's years of training, years of dedication, discipline, eating right, training multiple times a day, not multiple times a week, multiple times a day, every day, doing the recovery, getting the sleep, everything you need to do, what is easy and what is hard. And going back to Ben, he really thought, he could maybe sweet talk his way into just having a nice sparring round with a UFC fighter and kind of have it as a little fun experience. He was saying, oh, I was just trolling online. I was just, having some fun. I'm not a hateful person. Well, first of all, I don't know too many racists and sexists that would self-proclaim themselves as hateful people. They think, oh no, I'm a peaceful guy. I like everybody. I just don't like this and that and this color and that sex and whatnot. Secondly, all of a sudden it was all respect, bro. I'm a fan. And it kind of made me, I wasn't raised to beat up people who are halfway crying and and beat up just the weaker. But I had to teach him a lesson. I did take it easy on him. I didn't want to hurt him. Anybody can watch it, like the full video on YouTube. But I had people telling me, oh, you should have gone harder on him. I had people telling me you should have gone more easy on him. I did what I thought was right to teach him a lesson, show him there is no white superiority. If you train, you can fight. If you don't train, you can't fight. And of course, at the end, I I was kind of feeling sorry for him. Like you said, I think stupidity is a big factor here, and having bad influence. I sat him down with some Christian fighters. They told him, these guys are like my brothers. We train together every day. We sweat together. We bleed together. We're both human beings. There is no hate between Christians and Jewish people and Muslims. This is all bullshit. We're all people. And they talked to him, tell him he's gonna stray. He had the bad influence. And I hope this lesson humbled him and he will grow from it, finish developing his brain, and get some better mentors.
Yeah. Well, I bet he'll think twice before he sends another tweet out. I bet you'll be in the back of his head.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if what you did to him is going to help his brain develop anymore. I think it may have had an adverse effect on that. I do want to ask you here about Alex Reyes and this big fight you got coming up, but kind of a two-parter. One, how has the response been since you handled that situation, and have you heard from him again since then? I'm guessing there's not as much trolling. Did he kind of run away, or has he reached out to you saying, hey, man, you kind of opened my eyes a little bit?
Honestly, there's only been more trolling, not from Ben, but of course, everybody's going to jump on it and, oh, if it was me.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't challenge the guy. I'm not going to go and beat up untrained, confused children. But if you come to my house, you come to my gym and challenge me, my people, my heritage, my religion, you're not going to leave without getting a little concussion at least.
Yeah.
And that's being nice. And trolls will be trolls. They'll keep trolling. I know Nick Fuentes saw the video. I know he shat his pants. And I know he wouldn't want to, defend his own honor. Ben came in defending his honor, but Nick ain't coming to defend his own honor, that's for sure. But like I said, just put me in a room with him. Like I would do to most people. I don't think violence is the answer usually. I would talk to anybody, I would explain. And I'd gladly explain to Nick Fuentes why he's dead wrong. But, if he wants it to be a heart of a listen, we can do that too.
Man, I would love to see that. I think a lot of people would. Now, Natan, moving on to this fight you have again, looking at your professional career, you moving up the ranks. You're taking on Alex Reyes in a lightweight bout out there in Las Vegas. Man, I know it's a big fight for you. You go by Lethal. He goes by the Executioner. Something's got to give, right?
Something's got to give. Yeah, Alex is a great fighter. He hasn't fought in a while. He had, I think he almost went, paralyzed from an injection he had done that went wrong. So he's definitely a warrior. He made it out of being paralyzed to training and now back to fighting. Like, I have a lot of respect for this man, and I'm sure he's going to come ready and with a willpower that is incredible. But I know me, I know my strengths, and I know I can win this fight even in a dominant fashion. His willpower, like I said, is incredible, but I think my skills, my will, my endurance is going to overcome Alex. And of course, it's super exciting to be doing this in Vegas. I remember my coach took me, to the fights years ago, maybe a decade ago, and told me one day you'll fight here at T-Mobile. Mm-hmm. And I've had some big fights before, but this is the one at T-Mobile that he was talking about.
Well, man, we're really excited for you. I know I'm super jacked about it.
Can't wait, man.
Rooting for you. Go handle business, baby.
Thank
for
you,
sure.
guys.
Well, Natan, it's always great to talk to you, my friend. Like I said, we're rooting for you. We're going to be watching. You deserve this moment, man. Go take it. It's time. Go take that thing.
Thank you very much. I will.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. Talk soon.
Buddy.
Appreciate it.
See you guys. Appreciate you.